Hello friends, I am excited to demonstrate you the enterprise GIS portal which I have developed over a period of time. It has got basic functionalities like pan, zoom, layer switching on and off, feature info, some of the advanced functionality like attribute query, spatial query, editing over the web, editing not only spatial data but attribute data also. Along with that, it has got advanced configuration for user-based controls. It means that you can control the visibility of the layers for a particular user as per the requirement. You can also control the applications, like some of the application available to one user but not available to the other user based on the organization requirement. So here is the login page of the enterprise GIS portal, which allows user to log in with their credentials. So I am right now logging with admin credentials. So once I logging in, it will allow me to have access for all the GIS data, layers and functionalities. Any user who is trying to log in just directly to this page without proper credential will be redirected to the login page and user will not be able to log in. So let me just log out and show you how it works. So I'm not having login credentials, so I'm just trying to log in directly into the map page without login credentials. So you can see it will redirect me every time to the same login page even if I type the URL of the actual GIS portal. So this is how it works. So it controls the behavior of the user. Now let me just log in again. Now once I have logged in, you can see the layout of the GIS portal. Here we have various toolbars. Here this is a login or logout button and these are various functionalities. Now let me explain you all the functionalities one by one. Remember, I will start with simple functionality at the beginning and gradually I will move towards advanced and complex functionality. Some of the functionality we have seen in our previous video, but many functionality we have not seen, which I have kept at the end. So don't forget to view the video till the end. So I'll start with this layer button. So you can see layer switcher. It pops up as soon as I click on that and the button is turned to red to show that it is active, and these are various layers: admin boundary, land base boundary and land base layers. So I can switch on and off the layers as per the requirement. I can switch on off in the group or individual layer, and you can see that state layer is right now visible. District layer is added but it is grayed out. It means that at this zoom scale district layer is not visible. Once I zoom in, let me just do zoom in, district layer will start becoming visible at a particular zoom scale, and now you can see it is visible. So it is a scale dependent layer, that's what it indicates. At the same time you can see city, building and road, all other layers are also scale dependent. So if I keep zooming in, all other layers will start appearing. So you can see now road layers is visible. So if I switch off this base layer, you can see these are all the roads and these red dots are nothing but the city locations. And now you can see the layers are active. Now state layer has turned gray. It means that at this scale state layer is switched off by scale and other layers are visible. Building is still yet to appear because it is visible only when I zoom further. So this is how this behavior has been controlled. You can switch on and off any of the base layer as per the requirement, whether it is a satellite image, OpenStreetMap or a none layer which is nothing but a clear canvas. So this is how my layer switcher operates, and once I click on that, map becomes full screen and this layer switcher functionality gets hidden behind the screen. And you can see at the bottom we have scale bar, we have mouse position. So if I move the mouse over the map, the lat long position will be visible over here. Now we have seen layer switcher. There are other basic functionality like zoom in and zoom out. So I can use this tool to perform zoom in at a particular location. So as soon as I click there, it will zoom to that location. This is nothing but a zoom out basic functionality. As I drag the rectangle, it will zoom out of the map. So you can see over here, this is a pan functionality. So it is allowing me to pan the map, and all the buttons, as soon as I click on them, they will turn to red to indicate that this particular function is active as of now. Once I click again, it will become black again. So these are basic functions. Now this is a home button. So I'm right now zoomed at some other location, but as soon as I click on my home button, it will take me to my initial position. This is completely configurable, so I can change my home screen as per the requirement, as per the user login also. Like if some user belongs to, for example, Gujarat state, so his home button will behave like a Gujarat user, so it will zoom to a Gujarat. Some other user is from say Jammu and Kashmir, so that user will zoom to Jammu and Kashmir when that user presses home button. So it is a configurable. This is a full screen button, so I can do the full screen. Now isn't it beautiful to have a complete GIS application covering the entire screen? I am finding this very beautiful, and all the functionalities are working perfectly fine. My full screen GIS map looks very beautiful. So once I click on that, again it will turn back to a normal behavior. So it is a full screen button. Now what we have seen: home, full screen, layer switcher, pan, zoom in and zoom out. Now we will see measure functions. So this is a length measurement. So I can click on the map and you can see as I move my cursor, it is showing me the total length. Once I double click, it will turn into yellow and it will show me the total length in kilometer. I can keep measuring multiple lengths as per the requirement, and it will retain the previous measurement also. Once I click back on the length measurement, all these graphics will be removed. Similarly, I have area measurement, so I can draw a rectangle or any random polygon on the map and it is showing me the area in square kilometers. So it looks very beautiful and it is in a user friendly manner. I can just click back here, so it will remove all the graphics. So these were the basic functionalities. Now let me take you some advanced functionality, which is a feature info. It is not a simple feature info, friends, you remember that. So let me take you to the home screen first of all, and let me open up this layer switcher. Now let me click on this feature info. Now you can see over here there are multiple layers, but only state layer is visible right now, and district, city and other layers are switched off based on the scale. So my feature info button is intelligent. It will identify which layer is switched on and which layer is off, and accordingly it will show the results. So let me click on the map. So once I click on the map, you can see the feature is selected Gujarat. Here it is showing layer Gujarat state layer is selected, and here it is showing all the attributes. My state layer is having only two attributes, state name and it is a type. So it is showing those attributes, but if your layer has got multiple attributes, then it will populate here and it will show a beautiful scroll bar over here. Now so far it is okay, like I am having only one feature and I am clicking on that and it is showing on the map. But what if I have multiple features at the same location and if I click there? Let me show you that. So now I am zooming in and gradually my district layer is on. At the same time I have my state layer switched on. Now let me click on the map. Let us see what happens. So when I click on the map, it is first of all showing the district layer and details of the district highlighting on the map, but at the same time at the bottom you can see 1 out of 2. It says that there are 2 features selected. It is showing detail of the first feature. Now when I click this arrow, it is showing me the details of the other features. So when we clicked over here, we have selected not only one district, but we have also selected the other state which is covering that district. So now this arrow allows me to move between district and state. So now I am at a state level, so it is showing me the name of the state. So I can just move back and forth using these buttons, so it will keep on reflecting on the map. My attribute data will update. Now there is no limitation, like I can have 1, 2, 10 or 100 layers. If I click on that, it will select that particular layer on the map. It will show the details. At the same time at the bottom it will show me how many features are selected for that particular location, and it will allow me to move back and forth using these buttons. At the same time it will continue to follow this layer switching on and off based on scale. Let me show you how. Right now you can see black boundaries are representing state boundary and blue boundaries are nothing but a district boundary. Now once I zoom in, at a particular layer, at a particular level, road will start appearing and state boundary will disappear. Let me show you. Gradually you can see still we have black boundary for state and blue boundary for district, but now gradually you can see black boundary has been removed automatically, which was for the state. Now we have road network, city, and we have district boundary. So let me zoom out. You can see the black boundary over here. Let me zoom in. It is automatically switched off. Now let us see how identify function behaves. So now when I click on this particular road, it is showing me still there are two features selected over here. First feature is road. You can guess what will be the next feature. Of course it is a district. So you can see, and there is no state because it is switched off based on the zoom scale, and you can see it is grayed out also. So this is how intelligent our feature info functionality. It behaves intelligently based on the number of layers that are visible. Even it behaves based on the number of layer which are selected on and off. Let me show you. Now at this particular level we have road layer as well as we have district layer. Now I am switching off district layer. Now only road layer is visible. I am selecting the road layer. I am just selecting the road layer, and you can see now only road layer is getting for the attribute info. District layer, because it is switched off, I am not getting attribute info for the district layer. Isn't it beautiful? So it is intelligent enough to identify which layer is switched on and off manually by the user, or which particular layer is switched on and off based on the scale, and accordingly it behaves. Finally, if I click back on this thing, feature info panel will be removed, selected feature will be removed, and my map is at normal behavior. I can switch on and off layer as per my requirement, and my map functions perfectly fine. So we have fine-tuned or improved the capability of feature info layer. So it is working perfectly fine, excellent, the way we want, right? So this is all about feature info function. Now let me take you to the attribute query. So I'm just moving this thing, closing the layer switcher functionality, and I am clicking on this attribute query. So all the layers which are displayed will be available for the attribute query. You can see I have all the layers. Now I can fire a query. I want to find out districts with district name, like maybe I can say Nagar. So all the districts which are having Nagar in their name will be identified. So let us see how it works. So I have fired a query, data is fetched successfully. You can see the info on the map. All the districts which are having Nagar in their name are highlighted on the map, and map has zoomed to that particular scale to cover all the districts. At the same time, it has listed all the districts in the table below. So this table window has automatically appeared as soon as I have fired the query. Now let me click on any of the districts. So I am clicking on Gandhinagar in the table window, and so it is taking me to the Gandhinagar. It is zooming to Gandhinagar. Isn't it beautiful? Let me click on the Yamuna Nagar and it will take me to the Yamuna Nagar. Let me click on some other Nagar, Ahmed Nagar, and it is taking me to Ahmed Nagar. So this is how attribute query functions. It allows me to fire different type of a query. Now it is not necessary to have only string value and only like operator. If you select here some of the integer field, automatically this operator window will change. Here I am having only string fields for this, so there are no change in the operator. It is like and equal to only. But if you have some numeric values, automatically this operator window will change. So it is intelligent enough to understand what kind of attribute field you have selected here, and accordingly it will give you the operator options. So this is all about attribute query. Now let me clear this thing. I am closing the attribute query window, and now we will take you to the spatial query. So as soon as I click on the spatial query, a beautiful window opens up again. It will allow me to select the feature based on the spatial conditions. You can see within distance, intersecting, completely within, all our spatial conditions. So now let me fire a query. I want to select all the districts that are intersecting maybe this particular line feature. So where is that line feature? This button will allow me to mark line on the map. So I'll click on that and I'll draw some random line which is passing through multiple districts. So you can see our marker has been placed on the map with a yellow color. Now when I execute this query, Query will go to the system, data is fetched successfully, and now map has zoomed to selected feature. You can see a beautiful map on the screen, yellow line showing my marker and all the features in cyan color which are intersecting this particular line, and all those districts are listed over here. I can click any of the district and I'll zoom to that. So let me click on Pune maybe, and now you can see my Pune is at the center. I can click on Raigad and then Raigad will be at the center, or I can click on any of this place, Bijapur, and it will be on the center. Map is panning to that particular location. So isn't it beautiful? I hope this is the most requirement of many of the user, like they want to fire some attribute query, spatial query, show the attributes meeting the criteria, all those things. So this is all about spatial query. Let us try one more spatial query. So this time what I want to do is I want to identify cities maybe that are within distance of say 500 kilometers, say 500 kilometers within the same line marker. Let us fire that kind of a query. Now let me run that query. So now data is fetched, and now you can see all the cities which are within 500 kilometer of this particular line marker are selected. The cities are listed over here. Again, I can click any of the cities and it will take me to that city. Iluru is the city. Let me reduce this parameter, say 50 kilometer, and then run the query. Let us see what happens. So now you can see only few cities have been selected. Let me switch off this particular district layer, and you can see over here there are only 5-6 couple of cities which are selected, which are within 50 kilometer of this line. So why we have done it is, this thing is to check whether it is working perfectly fine, whether it is following our distance parameter. So yes, it is working perfectly fine following the input parameter. So Guntur is within 50 kilometer of this line. Let me click on Guntur, and you can see over here Guntur, and this is the line which we have drawn. So let me show you that. This is the line, so this is less than 50 kilometers. So this is how all the cities are selected. So this is how we can perform spatial queries on an enterprise GIS portal. So I'm clearing this thing again. Now let me close this spatial query. What next? What all you want on the GIS portal? One more thing that you want is to export this map, right? So here we have provided export map functionality. So I can just click on that. A map will refresh and map will be exported. You can see I can just click on that and a beautiful map is exported. You can see based on what is visible on the screen, you can do zoom in and zoom out, and it is a very high quality map. You can change the quality parameter. You can improve the quality, you can reduce the quality based on the requirement. Everything is achievable through the code. So this is how map is exported. It is not necessary that you export only this data. You can export even with the background image, like with the base map. So if you see over here, now I have this Jaipur and all my district boundary, and at the back end I have OSM map. Now if I export the map, let me just click on that. A map is quickly exported over here. Now if I open the file, you can see over here a Jaipur is exported with our state boundary at the back side and with a OpenStreetMap as a base layer. So this is how beautiful it is exporting map. Now there are various opportunities like having a neat line, a border, a north arrow, some legend information, some other textual information, title of the map. All these possibilities are there. We can do all these things. I have exported a basic map, but it can be extended to cover all these requirements. Okay, so this is about exporting map. Next most advanced thing is editing over the internet, editing over the web. So let us see how it works. So I'll take you to the home page. I'll switch off this thing. So I'll make the base layer as none. Now let me just switch off that. Now if I want to do editing, I have to select some layer as a editing layer. So in the settings button, I have option which layer I want to edit. Say I want to edit building layer. So that becomes my target layer for editing. And this is my start editing button. So I have to click on that. But once I click on that, you get a message you should be at some higher scale to do the start editing. You cannot just do start editing at this layer. This is all configurable, you can change it as per your requirement, but I feel this is what I wanted, so I have changed it that way. Now let me just zoom to a particular layer. So I'm zooming in, and you can see over here I have reached to Gandhinagar level. And now let me just switch off this base map, and now you can see over here, once I zoom in, there will be some buildings which will start appearing. These are the buildings. I want to have satellite image at the backdrop, so I have that satellite image. Now these are the buildings. Now you can see these are my road layers. Buildings are transparent. I'm not sure if it is visible to you. So these are the buildings. Now if I do start editing, buildings are highlighted and some new buttons have appeared. Let me just click again. So buttons are disappearing, some buttons are appearing. So what are those buttons? This is add feature, this is modify feature, delete feature, and modify attribute. Now this time we have made it slightly advanced. Let me show you how. So let me try to add one more polygon over here. So as soon as I click on there, it will not only allow me to add the polygon, but it will also allow me to change the attributes. So once I draw a polygon here, it will allow me to change the attributes. Let me show you how. So I am clicking on this building. I am digitizing a building. You can see on the screen. Once I double click, you can see attributes are available for editing, and I can save this feature. So I am giving a name, say for example house 31. That is the name of the house, and maybe type is residential. This is the type of house. Let me save this. Once I save it, successfully saved. Excellent. And now once I stop editing, and let me just click that. Now you might feel that feature is not visible, but let me do zoom in and zoom out. You can see once I do zoom in and zoom out, tiles will start appearing. It means that the feature is saved into the database, but tiles are generating freshly as we do zoom in and zoom out. Right, you can see this polygon is there. And now if I use identify feature info functionality on top of that, you can see it is behaving perfectly fine. House number 31, it is residential. That is the data entry we have done just now, but everything is into the database and it is behaving perfectly normal. So we have successfully added one polygon into our database. Now let me show you some other functionality also, like modify feature. So now I'll do start editing. This is a start editing button, friends, and again it is asking zoom should be 1000 or higher. Let me zoom in. So now I am more than 1000 level. So now if I do start editing, it will allow me to do various editing functionality. Now this is modify feature. I can modify the feature, so let me just click on that. Let me click the feature which I want to modify, and now I want to extend this feature. I am doing a random editing, friends. So I am just changing the shape of this particular feature. You can see I have made it a huge big rectangle building. So I have modified the shape. Now I'll click on it again. Now it is saying, do you want to save? I'll say yes. Now record is updated successfully into the database. Now once I do zoom in and zoom out, a fresh tile will be generated. So you can see old tile is deleted and new tile is generated. If I do stop editing, you can see this is the building. So this is a old tile, so tile has to get refreshed. This is a new fresh tile from the database. So this is how, if I keep doing zooming and zoom out, fresh tiles will keep generating, and you can see my latest database is like this. So what we have done is, we have done add feature, we have done modify feature. Now let me modify attribute also. So I'll click on this. Now it is asking which feature you want to modify. I'll say this feature, it is house 31. I want to make it house 41, and I'll say save. Once I save it, record is updated successfully. Let me close this thing. Let me even stop modifying attribute. Let me stop editing. And now let us check the database. So I'll click on feature info button. Once I click here, you can see house 41. So everything is coming from the database. Now even I can fire a query wherein house number is 41. We have done modify attributes, Now the last thing that remains is delete feature. So ultimately what I have to do is I have to enable that functionality. All other functionality you can see disabled because I am doing deleting feature. I cannot do two things at a time, delete the feature and add the feature, or delete the feature and modify feature. So all other buttons are disabled. So now which feature I want to delete? For example, I want to delete this feature. So it is asking me, do you want to delete this feature? For the confirmation it is asking, I'll say okay, and now it has been deleted from the database. You may think why it is still visible. Let me do stop editing over here. Now if I do zoom in and zoom out, all tiles will be removed because feature is not there in the database. So when I do refresh the tiles, it will show the updated tiles. Okay, so feature is removed from the database. There is no feature over here. So if I click the feature info button, nothing will appear, right? If I click here, it will open up a window, house 41. If I click here, house 1, house 31, but if I click here, there is no window because there is no feature in the database. So excellent, we have done add feature, modify feature, delete feature and modify attribute successfully. This is our enterprise GIS portal. Last but not the least, this is a asset search functionality. Let me show you that. So I can configure any of this layer based on the attribute. I can configure district layer, city layer, building layer, road, or any of this layer to be available in the form of live search. Now let me explain you what is live search. Here if I type down, for example, I want to search district, I have configured district and city layer. So I can type down anything over here, and if it is matching with any of the district and city, it will be listed down. So let me just type down, for example, Nagar. So I want to search down all the cities and district having Nagar in their name. So they are available in the drop down. You can see over here, I can just click on the Gandhinagar and my map will zoom to the Gandhinagar. You can see, isn't it beautiful? So for city, it is zooming it to a point location. So it is a Gandhinagar, then Srinagar. You can see beautifully map is spanning to the Srinagar. Now I can also zoom to the district. So like Ashoka Nagar, it is a district in Madhya Pradesh. So let me just click on that. You can see it is zooming it to Ashoka Nagar. So earlier it was zooming to point, now it is zooming to polygon. So behavior is dynamic. Jamnagar in Gujarat, so just click on that. So you can see Jamnagar district. So it is not necessary that you control or you provide only district and city. You can provide any of this layer to be available in the form of live search. So I have configured district and city layer. So when I type here AHM, only district and cities which are having AHM in their name, they are appearing over here. So Ahmedabad, I can click on that. So Ahmedabad city is available in the form of point. Again Ahmednagar in Maharashtra, I can just see in the form of polygon. Because I have configured only these two layers, they are available. You can configure any layer. So this is about live search. But the most important thing is coming now. What is that? That is user-based logging and user-based application and layer visibility. Let me show you. So let me just show you that we have logged in with the admin user. Let me just log out and log in again. So this is the admin user. ADMN is the username. It can be some employee ID or something, but in the backend it is admin user. There is some password. If I log in with that, I have all the functionalities. I have all the layers visible to me. You can see admin boundary, land-based boundary, land-based base layers and all the functionalities, right? Now let me just log out and I will log in with, let us say, view user. So it is a view 01 view user, and now when I log in, you will see the magic. View user is not having all the buttons. You can see over here, it has got all the basic buttons, zoom in, zoom out, pan, feature info and measure buttons, but it is not having attribute query, spatial query, download and editing functionality. So this thing has been controlled based on the user credential. At the same time, now if I log in with some edit user, let me show you how. I'm logging in with the edit user. Let me log in. So now you can see that edit user is having start editing button, and if I go to zoom scale 1000 and above, it will show me all the editing functionalities. So let me just do that. If I go to 1000 and above, I can select the layer which I want to edit, building. I will close this settings button. So it is having all the editing functionality, right? So, but it is not having some of the functionalities like download map. You can see it is not having a button for downloading the map, because I have control based on the requirement. So edit user may not require downloading the map, so I have controlled that functionality. Editor user is not having that functionality. At the same time, layer visibility wise, you can see I want land based layer to be edited. At the same time, I want to allow user to have background images or OpenStreetMap. So I am allowing base layers, but I am not allowing admin layers. So admin layers are not visible to the edit user. You can see they are not at all available. Even I have two options. Even if they are available, they may not be available here for the editing. That way also I can control. At the same time, I can control by not allowing visibility itself. Sometimes you may have a requirement like there is one department, administrative department, they don't want to see the technical data. Technical department may not want to see the administrative data. So based on different department, based on different functional requirement, you may want to control some of the layer visibility for some of the user. Editing can also be controlled through this target layer opportunity. So there are two ways to control editing, but I am showing you both the possibilities. So this is what we have seen. Now let me log in with the analyst user. Somebody want to do analysis. So let us see. So anal01, this is the analyst user. Now when I log in with that, you can see we have attribute query, spatial query, but we don't have editing functionality, but we have map download functionality, right? At the same time, analyst user may not require base features, base layers, right? So we don't have OpenStreetMap and satellite image. We have only admin boundary and land based boundary. This just for the demonstration purpose, you can have different criteria, but here I wanted to show you the capability of the software that you can control the behavior based on the user login. Not only layer visibility, you can control the availability of each and every functionality based on the user login, right? So I can just log out and I can log in as a different user. Now again, let me log in as a admin user. So admin, admin user, admin01. Let me log in again. So now everything is available: admin boundary, layer, land based boundary, base layers, and all the functionalities. So I can control everything. So this is a complete enterprise portal. It is having all the functionality that are required by a medium to large scale of a organization, having multiple users sitting at different locations, want to see the data, want to query the data, want to edit the data. You can have different set of a user. You can provide this functionality, having a centralized GIS database. So it is a complete enterprise solution available to the user. You can also develop it using OpenaLayers, PostGIS as a database, and then GeoServer as a data publishing platform, and HTML, JavaScript, Ajax, PHP, and multiple developing languages and libraries. So this is how I have developed. If you are interested in having this kind of a GIS portal for your organization, please send me a message. We will work together and I can provide you this kind of enterprise portal for your organization. There are opportunities to further enhance, increase the capability, many things. I want to show you one more thing. Like it is thematic, like you can change the theme, entire look and feel of your enterprise portal. I forgot to show you. Let me show you how. It is completely running based on a single configuration file. So if I open up a configuration file and if I show you just briefly, in this configuration file, if I just type down say green and if I just save it, you can see the look and feel entirely changing. All the menu bars, all the layer visibility and functionality, all the attribute query and functionality, everything will turn into green. So it is changing the theme of the enterprise GIS portal. So I have changed from black to green. Even I can make it red. So I just have to type it red here. Let me just save it. and you can see it is red over here. Now it has changed to this thing red. Attribute query, spatial query, everything has turned, settings, everything has turned into red. So isn't it beautiful? Even if I log out, this login button, shadow, everything is into red. It can be red, green, blue, anything. So I have tried to develop an enterprise portal which is meeting majority of the requirement of an enterprise. If you want this kind of a functionality for your organization, please message me, email me. I will help you out in achieving your geospatial vision. Thank you for your time. Thank you.